Hi, I interviewed one of my students' parents that I currently have. He's a 4-year-old with autism, and I chose to interview him because does a lot of he bangs his head a lot when he gets frustrated, or he just doesn't get his way. So I'm operationally defining the problem behavior by using the ABCs. So to figure out the antecedents, behavior, and the consequences, to figure that part of the ABCs, A, antecedents, so what happens before he starts to bang his head. I want to see if it's like the same reason why it is that he bangs his head, and the behavior mostly is banging his head. There's no other really. He gets frustrated, and sometimes he's like, screams out of frustration. But also outside, he likes to open doors a lot. But most is my concern is because he bangs his head a lot, and sometimes he gets like a little bump on his forehead. So the consequences also that I noticed have worked for him are, if you bang your head, you're gonna get an ice pack, and he doesn't like it because it's cold. So that's what I've been doing so far. What I've learned from about the behavior that I interviewed is that looking at, reflecting on this, and his mom and I were talking about it, is that it's on and off. Like, sometimes when he's frustrated or he can't get what he wants at that moment, he tends to bang his head. But then sometimes the same situations, the same antecedents lead to him refraining from banging his head. When we see, so the consequences for now is using the ice pack, because there was a point where he was banging his head a lot that we were considering getting him a helmet, and we talked to the OT about that. But since I decided to put an ice pack, because one time he really got like a little big bump on his forehead, and I don't want him hurting himself, like maybe his pain level, from our other classes that we've learned, some students with autism, they have different pain levels, if I'm correct, and maybe his pain level, it's high, so to him it might not be as, it might not hurt as bad. But I did notice it, and it was getting bruised, so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna ice your bump. And I noticed he didn't like it, so I still iced it for like 20 seconds. And then we all noticed that he really doesn't like the ice pack, so we used that. If you're gonna bump your head and hurt your head, then we're gonna ice it. We've all been learning or working with him on giving him pecks to or an exchange cards for what, an icon for what he wants, and saying I want and stuff like that. So, but yeah, thank you, and yes.